Hey guys, Hayes here. In this video, I want to kind of give you guys a recommendation in terms of level 1 traders. So what to use for, say, close range guns, long range guns, armors, healing, all that stuff. What to do and what to pick if you don't have any gear available to you. So hopefully this helps. I know people can get stuck with this kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know if this helps in the comments below, and yeah, enjoy the video. As always, don't forget I do stream on Twitch from about 10 a.m. GMT most days, so you can find me there. Link is in the description below. So I'm going to go through this video in sections. So what we'll have first off is the close range CQB weapons that I would recommend, or weapon, depends. And then the long range, or like medium to long range weapons with scopes, whatever. And then what I'll go through is the armor from Ragman or whoever has the best armor at that time. And then we'll go through therapist to kind of go through the heals and tell you exactly what heals you need in your raids. So starting level 1 Prapor, what you've got is a whole load of basically garbage. The only real ones you want to think about in terms of close range capabilities, right? So close range CQB in dorms, in your face kind of thing is really, I mean, if you can get a hold of the AKM, that's nice because you have the PS rounds, the PS 760 by 39 rounds available to you at all times, and they're really good rounds for the start. So AKM, obviously, it requires 3 Tushonkas to actually get. Some people say you can run the Kedder. Really, you can't, because you can't get the 30-round mags until level 2. See here, level 2, 30-round mags are there. So really, you're kind of stuck with 20-round mags and 130-rounders. It's kind of naff. It's not great. So what I would recommend personally is, if you really need a gun, is the PPSH. You get 35-round mags. You can buy those as well. Nice and cheap at 26.5k. You can also run the TT AKBS rounds. The TT AKBS rounds have minus 15 recoil, which is quite nice. It's really good actually, compared to these, which don't really have that many more stats. Like you have a much better stats. So in terms of the stats here, you can see on EFT-ammo, there is not much difference between the two. You see here the damage is only a difference of 2, but the AKBS has 1 more penetration. It doesn't really matter too much at this point. As I said, what it does have is the minus 15% recoil, or minus 15 recoil, which is quite handy when you're running a PPSH. It's quite important to have that. So I think this is quite a good round to run. So that's my recommendation for close range guns. Again, I said if you can get the AKM, then that's great. But at the same time, you have to make sure you stock up on mags from scavs in raid, because you cannot buy, you can trade a mag for pliers, 7.62 by 39, a 30-round mag. But other than that, you cannot get a mag with unless you buy the gun with it. You get these. Right, these are only on level 2 Prapor right here. See, so when it comes to long range level 1 gear, there are a few options. You can go for the Mosin if you want to. Again, you can't run a scope with this because there is no mounting options for these Mosins here. Other than that, there's not really a lot of options. The scope, obviously, with the PSO scope with the dovetail mount is here. What you can do is what I recommend, to try and get to level 2 as fast as you can, right? Or as soon as you can. So what I would recommend is when you start up, obviously you have your traders here. You go into every single trader and identify every single item to get the XP on every single trader to level 2. If you can't get to level 2, check fence. Maybe there's some extra things on fence that you can probably identify. But other than that, get to level 2, then go to mechanic, grab his task called introduction, which will then introduce you. You can then go into woods, get Jaeger's note from woods, and then you unlock Jaeger, and then that gets you the OP SKS with the dovetail mount to buy. So once you have Jaeger, what I've just found out, actually, what you can do is you can actually get a infantry, like large, long sort of barrel Mosin from Prapor, from level 1 down here, this one, the 35,001, if you want to. And once you have Jaeger, you can actually get this this Mosin rifle aim sports MNG rail mount. You can shove that on this one. It seems like you can't use normal scopes. You can't use scopes, but it seems like you can actually use just red dots and things like that. So that might actually help out a bit. But really, I mean, what you want to do is get the level 1 OPSKS with the dovetail mount here, and then shove on a PSO scope on the side of that, and then you've got a 4x scope on your SKS. So for long range, that's my recommendation. So when it comes to building a kit, you want some armor, right? Level 1 armor from Ragman, mainly. You have got some options on Prapor as well. They are few and far between. Obviously, the Gushes, the GSSHs for the headphones. I'd recommend these, actually, honestly, for the start. Just go with these. You can't really go wrong with them. So really, your only option, honestly, is to go for Ragman. Again, there's not really that many options anyway at level 1. In terms of armor, obviously, you have the Yule, the level 3, 80 armor points, kind of smallish type sort of armor rig. But usually, this is actually very much bought out. A lot of the times, this you'll find is just bought out. You might get lucky and catch it on like a Ragman reset, but usually this one's bought out, so it's hard to get this one anyway. You can go for the Packer. Packer will save you from scavs-ish, like shotgun rounds maybe, but honestly, I would rather rely on things you find in raid or armor that you get in raid. I think it's very crucial to just survive. This is why I actually recommend going for like, for example, a backpack. I wouldn't buy a Burkut. I'd honestly go for a smaller bag. I'd go for a MBSS. It's more of a mindset thing, right? So if you get an MBSS, you have smaller space, which means that you spend less time in a raid, because you're not kind of like forced to fill your whole bag full of loot, right? Because I mean you are, but you have a smaller bag, therefore your bag is fuller sooner. Therefore you kind of like you spend less time in a raid, which means less chance of dying, really. MBSS, I think, is a solid choice for the first sort of go at it. But really, I mean, as you go along, you'll collect bags. You can stack, obviously, bags up in your stash and just stack them up. But yeah, so this is usually sold out. Helmet, you could bother with a helmet. I think helmets might help out a lot in the early game because a lot of players are running sort of budget ammo. Level 3 helmets, this one's got a good ricochet chance, but I don't know, it's just like, it's an extra 22,500. Might be better off waiting until you can get the ULAC, or waiting until you have the flea market to buy the ULACs. If you don't know, the ULACs are these. So these are level 4. You find them on Raiders, you find them on Rogues quite a lot. So I imagine once you get to level 15, there'll be quite a few on the flea market. When you have access to the flea market, there'll be quite a few of these. And generally, early wipe, they're pretty cheap. You'll find a tan ULAC, which is what, is the one that I usually get. I don't really care about the color. It's got full level 4, including ear protection, which is quite nice. Sometimes I find I get caught in if I'm fighting someone and they catch me in the ear, like side on the ear, I get punished because of that. So having that ear protection is actually pretty big. Yeah, so these are generally pretty cheap towards the sort of the early to mid wipe. But apart from that, I wouldn't even bother with a helmet personally. You can maybe grab some or pick some up from scavs as you go along. That would probably be my best bet. I would say just try and hoard and stack up as many level 4 armors from scavs as you can. Scavs generally will have this type of sort of this rig here. Which is the Ratman rig, as we call it, or the nappy rig. This one here, generally this is level 2 Ragman though, so you can't buy it just yet. And these ones too, this one here. If you find him on a scav and you've not shot his chest, they're usually fresh. So pick these up, make sure you shoot, if you see a guy with this stuff on, make sure you shoot his head. Don't shoot the chest to keep this intact because it is ceramic, so it does get damaged easily and is not very repairable. It's not great to repair. So that's pretty much it for the armor. As I said, what I do generally is I just pick armors off of scavs and things and kind of store them and just try and get out with them, right? Because if you can make a stockpile of that kind of stuff, then you can use it for your quests later on and just kind of use your stockpile up, and then you might even get some more. So with the healing items, the only options you have are Therapist, and Therapist level 1 doesn't have much options anyway. So what you want to do for your standard kit is you want to get 2 AI2s or 3. I say 3 AI2s for healing of general limbs and things like that. That'll cost you 20,000, which is ridiculous. And then you'd want a painkiller. Some painkillers here. There's a four uses of these. Gives you some sort of pain relief. So you can kind of like run on a broken or blacked out leg, or your guy starts moaning, or it stops the if you get shot. The screen goes slightly blurry, or so painkillers are quite useful for a lot of things. Maybe 2 bandages. I want to say 2 bandages. Grab 2 of these to stop any light bleeds. Only light bleeds, because the heavy bleeds, you need the S-Mark tourniquets here. So get 2 of those as well. So overall, it's going to cost you a fair amount of money. It's going to cost you at least maybe like 40k-ish or more, 40-something K for your meds too. And then that's it. That's all you need. So there we go. That is the first sort of part of a 4-part series from level 1 to level 4 on traders. What I recommend in terms of running. If you guys need any more advice, let me know what kind of stuff you want to see from me as well, because I know there's a lot of people that sort of are kind of getting back into Tarkov, maybe even new to Tarkov, and they want to sort of know what to do, or you know, what things I would recommend. I have about 5,000 plus hours in Tarkov. I've played this game, streamed this game for 3 years straight. I've got a sort of a certain set of knowledge and skills that could be useful for people that are just starting. So just let me know what you guys want to see in the comments below. But yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.